It's time to awaken and remember who you really are. It's time to live a life that you absolutely love. And it is time for the awakened being. Conversations to create change. Having real, transparent conversations that will change your world. And together, we can change the world. Hello, my beautiful loves. This is Sundari, the Alchemist of Light, also known as Marcy Locke Mentor. I'm so happy to be with you here again on the Awakened Being Conversations to Create Change. And this show is actually sharing access to an online event that I hosted and did that was called Manifestations of the New Human. And this was a directly channeled experience, a directly channeled share of a lot of really powerful information, accessing our ascension process, a greater understanding of the big picture of who we are and the things that we actually get to move through for our highest level of good and for our greatest expansion into our multidimensional self, as well as our beautiful human journey. So this was such a powerful, powerful transmission for so many people and made such a big difference that I really wanted this to be accessible for everyone. So I truly hope you enjoy this. Know that if you are experiencing any resistance in your life, we know that resistance is just showing us what's on the next side of it to receive, and it's what's here to be healed and loved. So know that you can always get more support at marcylock.com. You can download and get access for free to the ultimate life of having it all activation. And there's also plenty of things there to support, from coachings to meditations to activations, several programs to access support, as well as the book, The Awakened Being, Living in Liberation, Abundance, and Bliss Right Now. So please know that we're here to support in any way. You are fully worthy, you are fully whole, and your life gets to be awesome. Enjoy the show. Hi, angels. You guys want to see my view? This is a really good spot to do this. We got the ocean. It's morning time here in Bali coming up. So excited to be with you, my loves. So I would love, as you guys are, we'll give it just a second, people jumping on as we start here, say hello. Tell me who's here, because how I've got it, I can't see all you beautiful faces. And I would love to see who's here and where you're chiming in from. Oh my goodness, so many glorious beloveds all over Canada, Ohio, North Florida, New Zealand. You guys are awesome. London, California, Arizona, Chicago, Latra. That is right. That is right. That is right. I see so many beautiful beloveds I love so much. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, my loves, my loves, my loves. Let me tune in for a moment. So this is so beautiful. We definitely have Wi-Fi support. Yesterday, in the last 5 days, I had like a crew of like 15 people hanging. And it was so glorious to just be in our bliss and our joy. And the Wi-Fi was completely out. So we're just like, let's call it all in to be here today. And I might be going off a video to make sure we are very solid in our connection. I love all the support. Well, my loves, as you're all still saying hello, please say hello. And just make sure you've got yourself muted, because we did have to shift the things, but I think we're good. So we can all be really present. So some of you might not know me at all. Some of you might have already been in Peace for the Planet, done the activations, be in the Best Life Tribe, being aligned to manifest, beautiful soul tribe that has experienced a lot. So we'll just see where this gets to go. What I first want to drop into the space, of course, I've already been encoding what gets to come through, or that your systems can be able to receive. I'll start off with this, my loves, is that there's some powerful light data with everything that's happening in the world. And when I say light data, you guys hear me talk about codes. We're going to bring some context to this. So before we get into that, what I want you to do is let's drop into our bodies. Let's drop into our feeling centers. I would love all of you. I think I can see a few of you. Let me shift this. Now I think I can see. Oh, you guys are all so beautiful. If you're not on video, and you can be on video, I love my loves to see you, and let's share our essence and our frequency together. So, oh my gosh, you guys are glorious. I could just do this. I'm high off of the light beams that you guys are. So maybe I might have to turn on video, because I'll just be like, oh, you guys are so beautiful. So let's drop into our bodies, and let's just drop into the space, this beautiful light tribe that we are, this beautiful soul family. Obviously, you guys would not be here in my space if we weren't sacred soul family that knew we came here at this time to be the vessels of light, to also do our own healing, that we heal the planet and we can live in our highest vibration of divinity. So
I'm going to guide you guys into just a little bit of a breath to start moving, and we're going to cleanse the system just a little bit, start opening up the body, the neural pathways, so that you can receive the information that's going to come in. And as you're continuing to do that, I'm just going to do a little invocation for the space and to support you guys in kind of encoding into your bodies the ability to open, to receive, and to cleanse and clear. Does that sound good? Can you guys give me a thumbs up since I can't hear you? Or you can give me kisses. I take all the kisses. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yum. Okay. So I got distracted by all the kisses, all the loving. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to just start to circulate your breath. So we're going to just inhale bigger. Just start with a deeper inhale than you normally would, and an exhale deeper than you normally would, and match the length and speed. So let's just start with a few of those and begin to imagine as you're doing that they begin to make a circular motion. And you can, if it's easier for you, you can go the same length as big or short as you want to go, but you even do a count of 4 in and a count of 4 out. What I want you to start to envision, my loves, because this is actually activating and opening the vessels in your body, is that you get to put your energy around it. We get to open up our multidimensional abilities to guide energy to manifest all that we want. So you start here where you're just going to see the energy coming from Pachamama Gaia beneath you, coming up through your sacred, beautiful root and all the way through your chakras, and then just see kind of coming out through your crown and your third eye and making kind of a big oval. So I just want you to start to circulate your breath, getting nice and soft and easy with this. I'm going to join you for a few because it just feels so good. Close your eyes. You put your hand on your heart and your womb center, whatever feels good. Just really drop into your body. Give yourself permission to be in peace, to be in your body, to relax, to let go of everything else, to let go of the mental capacity in the game that's happening, to let go of any other energies or frequencies in the field or the collective, and allow yourself to drop into your beingness. Find that space in your heart center, where we get to operate from our heart-centered consciousness, which is 500,000 times more powerful than any other energy. It makes life so fucking easy, my loves. So just dropping into our heart center, dropping into our bodies, you continue to circulate that breath, and we're just going to bring in that as we're circulating this breath, we're beginning to encode in that this breath begins to shake up and stir up the stuck Shakti and energy in your system, allowing anything that is of lower vibrational frequencies, any patterns, behaviors, beliefs, stories, ideas, programs, expectations, attachments, to get wiggled and start to break up in the system and start to easily and effortlessly now, as we always code in ease and grace, we're going to code in the easily and effortlessly now, we're able to let these just breathe out of our system, to be able to cleanse and clear that this breath that you are bringing forth from Pachamama, receiving the beautiful energy of the earth, as you're bringing this into your body as light data and light information from her, you're also able to be fed through this light, that this light just heals and brings forth a light to break up these old lower vibrational densities. I want you to just imagine seeing that energy as like a light vacuum cleanser, right? Like it's just coming through your system, and all the little particles that, are not you, that are just programs or stories or things you ever took on, are just effortlessly being lifted out and given out to be transmuted back to the divine, to Gaia, as a higher frequency of light, to be healed and to be whole. And just continue to see that as you move your breath. And as you do so, I just want to do a call in. We're going to invoke the space. We're going to call in Archangel Michael, my go-to Archangel Michael, to grid the 4 corners around us, each and every single one of us, each of us that's on this call, that's here in this space, that chose to make themselves and their healing and their frequency and their vibration, the manifestations of living in their highest divinity, a priority to be here today, to encode their field, to put the 4 corners around each individual and grid their field and this field that I am in with the ultraviolet flame of protection energy. That as we move into this space, into this experience, whatever this gets to look like, that each of us are actually held in the vibration of divine unconditional love through Mother Mary, through Queen Isis, through all of our support systems that are bringing forth and encoding the field over the ultraviolet flame with the frequency of divine unconditional love. And just for a moment, just feel, just breathe as you continue to breathe, and feel now the energy of the ultraviolet flame as well as the golden white light of Mother Mary moving through your breath, because it's encircling you. Your whole field is now just being showered down like the Karuna compassion waterfall, as we call forth Kuan Yin to also bring in compassion, unconditional compassion showering down upon you. Just feel now the vibration of this unconditional compassion, unconditional love, unconditional light, unconditional acceptance for yourself and all of life and all beings, starting to begin to stream through you now as you circulate your breath, easily and effortlessly now breaking up any particles, electrons, molecules, anything in your system that is not of the highest vibration to easily and effortlessly be transmitted through this light. We also call for Saint Germain to bring us, as we cleanse and clear and we activate every single cell, atom, subparticle, electron, and molecule of our being through all space, times, dimensions, and realities, as we bring forth this connection into our body systems to transmit everything to light, that we also receive the crystalline plasma to upgrade our frequencies to be able to have the highest vibration of unconditional love and light in our systems, so that we can be able to be the vibration of the new earth, to bring forth this inner standing of the new human. Just breathe that in for a moment, my loves. Feels so good to just receive all that is available and all of the energy that is actually you, just in other God essence frequencies. Just let me tune in for a moment as you keep breathing and feeling this energy and receiving this energy. We also, yes, Archangel Raphael, I see you. I do, I know. We bring forth Archangel Raphael, is definitely want to be here in this space. He also is encoding your entire field with the green emerald healing frequency and light that is just showering down upon you, on your system, all of you through all space, times, dimensions, realities. He is living in your heart space now. You can ask him to. It is actually your choice, so it is your divine will. But he's saying, if you want me to be with you, I will be with you. And he is showering us down with this emerald green healing ray of light that is absolute unconditional love and healing and alchemizing your body as it transitions through lower vibrational consciousness and you're moving into a higher vibrational awareness. We also have the Syrians and the Pleiadians, and the Syrians are giving you permission to give yourself permission. They're basically saying, and if you choose, what we can code in now is that through this process of receiving whatever information is here for our systems to be open and activated to the light, that we also can then integrate with ease and grace, and we can ask to be supported in being able to be, I know a lot of you guys, it's nighttime, it's so perfect, you can just go to bed and ask for the accelerated integration chamber around you to let everything integrate with ease and grace as they activate and upgrade your DNA, everything in your system to be operating at a higher vibrational consciousness. So just breathe that in. All the support systems, we have loads around us. I feel like that's a really good. We're just going to honor everyone that is here, every one of you that is here. That feels good. Does that feel good, loves? Yes, that feels so good. So we are fully protected in the space. You're protected in the space. What I want to start with, my loves, is just to honor you for being here. I feel so much honor in just sharing the journey with every single being in my space. Every single interaction, every one of your hearts, every one of your beautiful smiles, and just the journeys that you've been on and what you're here to bring forth in the world, your unique blueprint. And I'll just remind you that you are the only you. So you have your own beautiful, if we look at just the human form, you have your own beautiful voice box, your own fingerprints, your own toe prints. You have 37.2 trillion unique cells that no one can replicate. So you being here completes our wholeness. And so thank you, my loves. I see you. I honor you for being here and being a part of this glorious wholeness that we are together. And I truly honor you for being here. And they've really been communicating over and over just for you to really know that you chose to be here at this time, and what a gift you are for that. What a glorious gift you are that you chose to be here at this time. Knowing this is the greatest awakening of our planet. We are shifting into dimensional consciousness and above. And to just honor yourself in all that's happening, which we're going to bring some support and context to, it feels like. So I would love to hear, as we get going here in the chat, I would love to hear why you wanted to be here. Like, why did this draw to you? Was it a feeling? What are you seeking right now? I would love to hear what you guys are truly seeking and why you're here, what drew you in. So I can also allow the tuning in of your systems and being able to go wherever we get to go. Blocks, abundance, beautiful, struggling with manifestation. Oh, so glorious. Tired of being human. Oh, my loves, I know how that can feel. Want to be with like-minded people, beautiful, so in the right place. Everyone here is just a glorious light that knows they're called to more. Exploring your gifts, yes. New earth frequencies, full alignment. Chula, you go, my love. Wow, I'm trying to keep up. Yay, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. You guys are amazing. I appreciate your participation. I love feeling you and being this beautiful dance that we share together. So raising the frequency of humanity, fresh motivational energy. I am definitely fresh. I think so. I didn't shower, but I am fresh. What else? Higher self. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear. I would love your participation and for you to really get to put into the space what you are seeking and what you're desiring, because that is powerful, especially with the portals that we hold. And we're literally calling in and holding a field right now. I always encode into the space that whatever is brought into the space is massively magnified. So know that this, and you guys being here, that's why I want to honor you, is a huge step in just you creating what you really want to create. So the thing that I really feel is all of us are seeking our remembrance, right? My loves, we're seeking that place, which you could call that, we're here to remember. And so I really want to remind you that the greatest gift that you can give yourself is the gift of your integrated embodied wholeness, or embodied integrated wholeness. Embodiment is integrity. Integrity is embodiment. It's alignment of all that you are and all the frequency you are. When you're showing up in your wholeness, that is the greatest gift you can give the world. It's the greatest gift you can give yourself. It's the greatest gift you can ever give at all. What I want to share that's really kind of coming through is, and first just I feel like I get to, let's call this an awareness of what messages want to come through today. As I was tuning in and they're like, I'm feeling it's very much some really powerful light data information. So I was saying earlier, when I say light data, when I say codes, light information, our bodies, we're fed off of light. We are light. And through our struggle with the body, through food, through beliefs, etc., we create all this heavy density. Do you like how it's so heavy? And the more we lighten up and we come into enlightenment to be in our light, we are light beings. And so what we're really doing, just as you felt in the circulation, which you might still be doing that's beautiful, loves, and just continuing through this experience, if you feel, you get to check in with your system. I'll do my best to remember, and we'll check in with our systems. If you feel any heaviness or stagnation, just bring in some breath. It's not to bypass it, it's to allow it to soften so that we can get into what is there and be able to bring it's coming up for the healing. So all of what we're receiving is light information that cracks us open to be able to be a higher vibration, to be at that frequency. Again, the light is just going to, transmit and alchemize everything to remove those lower vibrational densities. So I'm kind of giving you an awareness, my loves, up front, that this could really trigger you, which I'm known to do, and it's okay. Because it's just getting curious. It's like, interesting. So whatever I share might trigger you. What I share might feel like, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to share in my labs. I just know I've been told, like, let's set the foundation that they know. Prepare yourself for, you might be like, I just can't wrap my head around that. That's completely opposite of my programming I was raised in. Believe me, I know. And it's not a mental game, my loves. It is a feeling experience, because we are frequency, we are energy, we are vibration. So just know that might show up. And my contribution to you, my loves, if you choose to participate in that contribution, is when you feel a shutdown or like something doesn't apply to you or doesn't really resonate, that's when it's time to get curious. And believe me, I want you to question all things. I have no desire for you to do anything that is not of the highest vibrational light for you. It's just not in my realm of awareness. Like, I only want you to find your greatest, highest light, to question all things, to be in your glory. And so, yes, you get to question all things, but just notice a lot of times people will feel something like that doesn't feel true for me. And, we all have our own truth of whatever we're looking for, but just get curious about all things, because it's actually to go, let me come into neutrality with that I can see all things as perfect and beautiful and divine as a part of this, and I can actually feel into and feel clean and clear with what is my truth. And so just allow yourself and know that this is an opportunity to breathe and just get curious, like have a clean slate. Okay, my loves? So now that we've all kind of had a little bit of a pre-awareness, I want to share, because, I obviously said I felt really called to do this just out of feeling us to get some context of manifesting and stepping into being the new human. If we're like, well, what is the new human? Well, what I see as a new human, or how we manifest being the new human, first kind of comes with, I guess, what they're bringing forth is just a question I want you to go inside yourself and ask is, what if you knew that you were actually God? What if you knew that you were actually God, my loves? Like, what if you really knew it at the core of your being? Like, you were breathing it, you were feeling it, you were knowing it. There was no beginning or end to you and your body and all of the planet, all things. You just knew, I'm God. And just tune into that for a moment and feel into your system What if you also saw everyone else as God? What would your experience be if that was just your knowingness, that was your truth? Would you be living in a reality if you knew you were God and everything in front of you was a divine, glorious reflection of God and is the energy of source consciousness? Would you see any of it out of sacrifice or suffering? Would your reality include any sacrifice or suffering? Or would you see everything out of the greatest joy? Would it be your greatest joys, your peace, bliss, pleasure, heaven? And if you saw beyond all the Mayan illusion that you saw every person, every animal, everything as God, how truly would you be feeling and interacting with all beings, all experiences, and all of life? And I really want you to just tune into that, not bypass this like, oh, this is just an information. Let me quickly I want you to really take that in and breathe that in. If you felt in your body a knowingness that you and all things are God, what would you be experiencing? How would you be seeing life? And the new human of the new earth is this. That's the easiest for me to put it. The new human of the new earth is a highly evolved being that is operating as an embodied, integrated soul, knowing of their source power, their sovereignty. And what is that source power? It's I'm God. You are God. Experiencing yourself as human. Ha! So fun, right? And so operating at the frequency of heaven on earth is actually, my loves, it is the fifth dimensional frequency and above. It's a state of unconditional love. And so heaven on earth is a state of being. We know that you could be experiencing heaven on earth right now, and other people can be experiencing something very different. That's because it is a state of your frequency and consciousness and being. And so it's operating from our heart-centered consciousness, where all that exists is love. When our head goes, but da-da-da-da, and I see it as that, and what about that, and that's wrong or that's right, we're not in heart-centered consciousness. When we're feeling from our heart compassion, unconditional acceptance, love, understanding of all beings, all experiences, and seeing all of life as everyone in their perfect journey, in their perfect divine, the divine being they are, that is honored to be experiencing whatever they're choosing in this lifetime experience for their greatest and highest good and growth. That's coming from our heart. And so as we begin to operate from heart-centered consciousness, we realize that the lie is anything but love. That's how simple it can be. Now, I know as experiencing my humanness and multidimensionality in all things and through my journey, that the challenge for people is that we can say, yes, of course it's all love, yet how do I integrate that? How do I become where I'm just a vibration of love and literally have no attachment or expectation or story around anyone else and how they're showing up or my family or etc. And so the thing that's really served and supported me through my journey, and I've spoken to this a lot of times, is always to come back to the laws of consciousness, to just come back to energy. Energy never lies. It can't be destroyed or created. It's always transmuted. So whatever the energy is, it's a clear reflection back to us as the result of what we're vibrating, right? And so when we just simply go, okay, my awareness now is, if you are choosing and committing to be a new human of the new earth, which means you're saying, yes, fuck yes, I choose to live on heaven on earth now as my state of being. Yes, I am fully fucking worthy of all of the bliss and the joy and the pleasure and play in all of my light, and to see all of life in that light. That's what you're saying yes to when you choose to be this new human of the new earth. And when we recognize that that's the consciousness we're choosing to align to and become, it means we simply make it easy and go, okay, anything that is not love is the lie, is the illusion of the third dimensional matrix. The lie is, my loves, it's that you've ever been separate from all that you are, from all that we are, and all that is, and that is the very existence. That is unconditional love, of being unconditional love. So let's tune into what does that really produce in our reality. Let's really let our system feel this and get clear, because this is not just information, my loves. I really want you to be aware that this is light data coming into your system to upgrade your frequency if you choose, if you are open to receive it. So when we tune in, we go, okay, if everything is love, what does that produce in our reality? I know a lot of you are very advanced spiritual beings. Many of you have heard these concepts of spirituality. And again, we get to integrate it into the way that we fully be in everything that we are. And so if we're operating in a state of heaven on earth where there is no separation and we are God and all things are God, what does that produce as our reality? It produces living in absolute bliss, peace, flow, abundance, all with ease and grace. Unconditional love as a sovereign light being, because you are fully, as the creator, to experience whatever you choose. And we could never choose less for ourselves of what God is worthy of when we know that we are God and that all things are that. So what do we know? Then we get to really look at, what do we get to do with this? And we can see what the world's currently experiencing. And you guys could even share, I always choose to anchor in the light, but I know that a lot of you want to share, like, what is it in the world that you've been struggling with or experiencing? We can see what's happening in the world and what we're experiencing. The opportunity we have is, how do we change it? How do we anchor in the light? How do we be the light? How do we rise above the collective frequencies or the things or the programmings in our system and allow ourselves to take radical responsibility? They're saying you change it through radical responsibility to change ourselves. See, I know if ever there is anything in my realm of awareness that bothers me, triggers me, I feel any vibration of resistance to, it is not for them to change, it is for me. It is always for me to do the change of anything that I am not in complete peace and wholeness and love and light. And just breathe that in for a moment. Close your eyes, feel into your system, and feel, if you know that you're God and you know that you're an effortless creator, wouldn't we just shift the resistance in our lives to allow us to receive all the love and be all the love? So any stories we're holding on, creating resistance to other people, not completely honoring or accepting, we can see are just coming from a lower vibrational idea or story that we're striving to control instead of releasing all control, letting go, because control is controlling us, and letting ourselves fully be free. So if we're feeling into this, that anything within ourselves and anything in life that you don't see as God is what you are here to dissolve the illusions, creating your own suffering and vibrationally blocking you from infinite, you name it, my loves, bliss, prosperity, peace, pleasure, joy, abundance in all of life. So the key to open up this new world dimension for you and for all of us is this simple remembrance. It can be this simple remembrance is our base foundation to then go in every situation. What is the energy? What are the thoughts? What are the programs? What are the behaviors? Are they aligned to me being God and them being God? Can we see how easy this is? Just breathe that in for a moment, my loves. Letting go of the stories of the hardship, the struggle, the sacrifice, the suffering, anything that is just human stories and ideas from past programs and experiences and things that are not even yours, that were just in your cells and your being from the collective and from all the experience. It's fucking easy. You're God. Just breathe that in. You're God, my loves. I see you all as glorious gods. And so whatever we get to now see, let's get excited about, first off, that it's simply for us to dissolve any illusions that are creating suffering. I get to receive and see. I joyfully release that I can joyfully receive anything that is creating my own suffering. And we know that that's only creating suffering on the planet, which is just holding us from all experiencing heaven on earth state now. So the key to open this up is this remembrance. And I really want this to imprint in your system. The key to open up all that I am is a simple remembrance that I am God, they are God, and we are unconditional love. And so there is, coming from this level of consciousness, there is only love and light. All things are available at all times as you energetically are aligned to manifestation of all the things that you desire, right? It's always there. And so all that you desire is available. There's only plenty. There is only wholeness. There's only love and light. And so our choice becomes, we can see it so clearly, we are just simply choosing. I can choose to strive for things and seeing ourselves as separate from it. The lie that we're separate from our godness, or they're separate from their godness, or we're separate from each other in our allness. And we can continue the cycle, which keeps us in, karmic, I feel like we'll go into that, but it keeps us in that cycle. Or we can remember, my loves, and we can act now as God. Breathe that in. Again, we can see all as God. We can act now as God and be the God self-consciousness that is who we are and have always been. Let that land in your system. It's already there. It's already done. You are already God. And this, my loves, is 5D consciousness plus. Because in fifth dimensional consciousness, the base, the foundation is only unconditional love. And so I want to create some context, because I'm feeling them say that just using the word God can be a mind fuck. And I get it, because all the programs, religions, all the history versus her story, the hierarchy that was created, the patriarchy, that all of the lies that hid what the truth is. And so we created a story around what God is. And so they're saying, just let's bring some context to this so that your system can open up. And now I just want you, my loves, to just breathe. If you feel at any moment, please do this as much as possible. Shake your head. That will reset your crown. It's going to open up your crown to continue to receive, releasing the energy. If at any time you feel your body slunch over, contract, I want you to tap open your heart. I'm tapping my heart and just pull it open. Like shake your arms out. Just continue to, if you feel any stagnation, because this is why for me integration is so important, because you can only handle so much. And if you already like, okay, that's too much for my brain and body, I'm God, what? Then you're going to miss the rest. So really scan and be aware of your system as we continue. Add in some breath and just be like, interesting, because it's just like, I'm just getting curious. What's here? And just allow some movement if you can, some breath if you can. So let's create some context, because we know that the eyes will only see what they're looking for. You guys are very aware of this. You're magical, glorious beings that I know are already on the spiritual path. So we can only receive to the level of our awareness and our consciousness. So what you are then aware of is operating from all that becomes a reflection of your vibration. You guys have witnessed, and we can witness or have experience, you can only receive so much when you're stuck in the 3D matrix, right? Because we're only seeing what's available through the eyes of our consciousness. Does that make sense? You guys feel that? Does that land? So in that, in order to become enlightened and awakened fully, to be the integrated embodied soul in remembrance of who we are, we get to receive the information of truth that is the consciousness of source knowledge. That means we're accessing our infinite wisdom. We're decalcifying our pineal gland. We're opening our crown. We're activating and opening our third eye. We're opening up all of our chakras and our systems. And I'm not going to dive into like every little piece of this, but basically we are activating our bodies to be able to receive new light data, light information, to have an understanding of who and what we really are. So this is how we learn what is beyond our 3D reality, beyond what we can only see right now. The moment I say, I give you a information that again is like a code, and your system goes, what? Do that, guys. That's fun. Let's all do that together. Like, what did you just say? And then it's just like, and it lands. Have you guys experienced that where it lands in your system? You're like, oh, and what opens up? All of a sudden this paradigm opens up beyond the paradigm you were living in. And you're like, holy fuck, there's so much more available. That is beyond the 3D matrix of just what we've been able to receive. And that's what's happening when you allow yourself to receive the truth and the consciousness beyond the constructs of consciousness you've been operating from, of who you truly are. And so this is how we learn what's beyond the 3D reality. And it's only through accessing this light information about the truth of who we really are and where we really come from and how powerful we really are that brings in enlightenment, brings in our access to this remembrance. Can you guys feel that? And just take that in for a moment. The more I receive the light and my awareness, this is why you guys are here. You guys aren't just, like tuning out. You're like, okay, what else is available? What do I get to remember? What do I get to know? Because you feel the fucking call right now to open your hearts and to be fully embodied in the wholeness that you are, because stuff's going down. And you're like, oh, I choose something else. And I will call others to rise as well. And I know that's who you are and why you're here. So I want you to really give yourself permission, they're saying, to open and to receive this information. Just breathe it into your system. So as you're accessing this light information, the information of light, what happens is it comes into our being. That's why I always code in that my cells are open to receiving the light and shedding and cleansing and clearing anything that is lower vibrational density. What's happening is we're receiving, as we receive more light into our system, we're opening our hearts. Our hearts open through access of light to begin to activate this process of remembrance to our fullest potential, to all that we are. And so this light information is then stored in every cell of our being. We are emulating light. It's the only reason I fucking continue to look younger and younger and younger is I just keep becoming more light. We just get to glow light. And that's why I see you, beautiful beloveds. I'm like, oh my glory, you're such glorious, beautiful light beings. I just want to cuddle. Let's all cuddle. You're beautiful. And it's because my God sees your God. My weirdo sees your weirdo too. I love it. I see all of us and all that we are and all the cray-cray that we are and everything. And so our fullest potential is all of us. There is no too much in your wholeness. There is no not enough in your wholeness. Your wholeness is fucking all things. And so this light information that you're accessing stored in your body opens up your heart to begin the expansion of your consciousness, your awareness, raising your vibration and your frequency until you're operating from fifth dimensional consciousness and above, which the base and the foundation of the energy of fifth dimensional consciousness is unconditional love. And just feel for a moment, guys. I can feel some heavy energy with that. So tune in if you get it, breathe or shake in that, and just feel for a moment what that feels like. Let's bring a context that might land in your system a little more, is what it feels like to be operating only from and experiencing only unconditional love. Let's bring that into it. And then like maybe if God feels a little strong, it's like I can see something and I see love. I look at me and I see love. I look at you and I see love. I look at every situation and experience that's happening in life as love. I look at every animal, plant, everything that's ever been, and I just see love. Like you got love glasses on. You're in 3D or 4D or whatever you're in now. Some of you are already operating from a very high level of love. And also you put on your love glasses that it's like, really, it's kind of like taking off, let's say you're taking off the glasses that you've been wearing and your natural state is like, I am love and I'm beaming love. And so just feel that. And let's breathe that in. I actually want you guys to take in a deep breath. And then put your lips like you're breathing through a straw. And just breathe out all the air as slowly as possible until you're fully exhaled out. And then repeat. And we're just going to do a couple of those. As you're doing this, though, I want to give your cells direction and your body direction that is effortlessly able to pull in this information, to receive this information, to continue to open and activate and allow this information to cleanse and clear your system, and to be able to land and imprint within your body, to crack open what has been hiding, to allow it to come forth, to be healed and revealed, and to be effortlessly held in the light, effortlessly in love. And just feel as you breathe out, your system relax into like, it's safe to remember that I am God. It's safe to remember that I am only love and light. It's safe for me to see everyone and everything is only love and light, because I am the source of my own safety through my sovereignty. And the head might want to pop in and be like, but what about this person that did that? Or what if you do this and people hurt you? And just, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I hear you. I see you. And breathe and let everything just land. You're safe to be the light. Just do that till your system feels relaxed, and bring in the vision and the connection to the energy of this, that you see the fractals of light landing in your system. Whatever vision wants to come to you, your specific guides, I already encoded before that your specific guides will be with each of you to give you any vision, any direction, especially after this experience, but throughout you might have a specific direction or vision of whatever you get to receive that is the perfect light information for you right now to be able to continue to magnify the light that you are. So giving direction with your vision center, your third eye, as we cleanse and clear the pineal gland, decalcify to be able to receive the infinite wisdom that is available, the infinite abundance that is available through an open heart, knowing that you are fully fucking worthy as God to receive all of it and to be with all of it. Just do that till you feel at peace, and you can return to circular breathing or anything that feels good, and just continue to remind yourself that you're safe to open, to receive. So my loves, what we're grounding in is a state of unconditional love, living in heaven on earth now, and the knowing of the God self. I just say, I'm the God self experiencing my humanness. And that is source. That's a connection to all, our oneness and our wholeness. And so the truth of this light information that, again, you hear me refer to as codes, that can come through activations I might do, just like in Peace for the Planet. We did light code activations, activating your body with these, again, the light frequencies, the data, the energy, the vibrations. And all of this information, this is a light code activation, because we're receiving the information and allowing it to land into our systems and opening our hearts to unconditional love, which is the key to the journey of our remembrance and our ascension. That is the key. So I want to clarify, my loves, that to open our hearts to unconditional love and bring forth our ascension into this heaven on earth now as the new human, fully worthy in our God self, to be living in heaven on earth, is to be open to all things. Again, a base law foundation. I'm open to all things. I'm in acceptance of all things. I'm in honoring of all things. And the unconditional love, or the foundation of unconditional love, this is why it's like, oh, it's so simple when I look at it this way. Unconditional love is the inclusion of all things. It's the acceptance of all things. So this is the frequency. I want you to tune into the frequency of this, feeling this for yourself, sitting here. I am in unconditional love for myself. Now, can you expand that awareness to unconditional love for your kids if you're a parent, your spouse or partner or lover, if you have that in your life, and see where your system wants to go. I have a story about that one over there. And just feel and keep seeing, oh, what can I breathe through? And knowing that unconditional love is the inclusion of all things. It makes it so easy. There's no story. There's nothing that doesn't include love. Remember, that's just to go, oh, that's the illusion right there. I see you. That's the lie right there. And so this is the frequency of unconditional love, which I really want you to feel in your system, is the ability to receive all things, my loves, because it is the acceptance of all things. It comes from abundance and allness. So if you want to try to use, I guess you could say, or strive, or put your 3D matrix mind around this, you could see it through the eyes of, oh, the more I love and evolve, the more I receive. And that might be okay, how do I move towards, because you might be like, I am fucking done with the struggle and the hardness and the sacrifice and the tiredness of feeling like human. I don't want to be human. I want to go home. Some of you guys might feel like that. Do any of you guys feel like that? A live being who is like, what the hell am I doing here? I want you to hear, they want you to hear, your highest self wants you to hear, because you're God and you created being here and you're all experiencing this with me, that, as I mentioned in the beginning, is that you can only see to the level of your awareness and consciousness. This is why we get to go into some things where you're just like, mind expansion. A lot of people will say, blew my mind. I say, expanded my mind, because I have no desire to blow my mind. I only have an intention to expand it into my fullest remembrance and awe in my heart and my pineal gland and my third eye and my throat and my everything that I am. So the more that you can just breathe this in right now, this idea that you are multidimensional. And just tune in. Let's bring this into context. I feel like we'll ground this into the body a bit more. They're saying a way that you can reference this. Because again, when we create a reference point allows us to go, oh, I get it. I can feel that. And so a reference point, I want you guys to feel into your hearts right now. Think about someone you just absolutely adore. It might be your child. It might be a family member. It might be just a dear friend. It might be an idea of someone. It might be a teacher, an enlightened master, an ascended master, an angel. It can be anyone. And I want you to just feel the frequency of love, and obviously feel love in your heart. You guys all feel your ability to tap right into love in your heart. Can I get like a nod or a thumbs up if your eyes are closed? It's all good. Awesome. Okay. You guys are so great. So feeling that, now I want you to extend that love and say, can I energetically transfer my love to think about someone that you could start with across town. You could go even further across the country, maybe a family member that's somewhere farther away. You could tune into, if you're really passionate about a certain philanthropy project and where they're off, and just notice if you can envision the person, the situation, the experience, whatever is involved, and if you can feel love for them and that it's reaching them wherever they physically are at. If it feels like, how do I connect to that? Just envision, again, a smaller range, but just envision feeling love for something that you can see and feeling and seeing your love go out to that. Now, let's take it further. Let's take it across the planet. And I want you guys to notice if you've ever had, oh, guys, dolphins just popped up in the ocean for me. That's actually a sign of the Palladian. So thank you, my loves. They're saying, let's bring that into, have you ever had someone pass on, transition from this life experience, and do you still feel love for them? Can you connect to them if you chose? Can you have a memory? Have you ever had a thought or an experience that felt like there was communication? These are just simple ways that you can recognize that you didn't actually need to physically be with someone, just a human 3D vessel that is material. Again, you're actually 99.99999% energy. You're less than 0.01% matter, my loves. So there's evidence that you can tune into. Can you guys feel that? Can you tune into that evidence? Like, oh, I have the ability to send an energy anywhere. I can feel beyond my body capacity. You've had experiences where you have someone you're thinking of and they message you, or we've seen the evidence. If your knowingness was your ability to guide and direct energy and be all that you are, this just is. This is part of your multidimensionality. So they're just saying, come into context with like, can I breathe that in? Can I receive that? If it feels a little big, to feel like, whoa, you're saying I'm way more out there than just this physical body and being, for those of you that are just feeling and tuning into this. So again, once we remember our multidimensionality, we're raising our consciousness as to what we truly are. And so this dimension, I want to give you guys some context to the process of this, or almost the journey of that ascension. And what I mean when I'm using dimensions, because they're very clear right now that we are in a time of moving from the 3D into the 4D and the 4D into the 5D. And I'll share what that kind of means and looks like. So this dimension that we're in is the most dense dimension. It's why we refer to it as 3D, which is because, well, the only two, actually, there's 2-dimensional frequencies lower, and that's just of minerals that are like stones existing in consciousness, just heavy and sitting there. And then there's animals, which is the next level of consciousness, the second dimension of consciousness, before there's us, the humans, the third dimension of consciousness. And so that's why I can reference to there's many, many, many higher levels of consciousness and light beings and frequencies and things happening that just our eyes have not been attuned to be able to see. And so our conscious awareness has been trained to see through, to live in and create from the limitations and the restrictions of this third dimensional matrix, which is merely, I want you guys to hear this, an illusion of lack of light data, a lack of your truth or your remembrance or the knowing, because that's the conscious level you got to start at to then open up and awaken your vessel to remember these things, to awaken to the consciousness awareness of love, of unconditional love. So in order to ascend and save herself, you could say Gaia, from destruction, all of us, we get to evolve to the fifth dimensional consciousness or awareness, the reality that is the consciousness of heaven on earth. And so in our awakening, we've already begun to enter the 4D. So you see this so fucking clearly right now. Like, I look at what's happening in the world and I just smile. 4D is happening because 4D is an astral plane and a dimension of illusions, because it reflects the illusionary 3D of any unhealed worries, fears, any negative lower vibrations and densities will manifest and quickly be reflected back to us, appearing more than ever as real. Can we see this happening right now? The whole world having everything blown up into all the deepest wounds are right in our fucking face. And they're intensified and magnified, and they look so real. It's because we are going through the transition. It gets to be destroyed and destoried to allow us to rebirth or to come into that alignment. Our transition, the ascension processes, can that look so fucking real? And I see through that illusion and lie that isn't anything other than love. And I hold the frequency and raise my vibration through my patterns, actions, behaviors, everything that I am to align to that love. And all of a sudden it transmits and dissipates and it is healed, and you are operating from fifth dimensional consciousness. And so the 3D, this dimension that we've been programmed in, thinking we're just this vessel, this tiny thing that doesn't have this power energy, that operates from blame or shame or judgment or control or anything that is lower vibrational, is now getting a clear picture of our movie screen. What would you call that? What's when they do movies and it's like interactive? And I haven't been to a movie theater and I don't know how many, you know what I mean though? It's like you're in your movie theater and all of a sudden it's like amplified, and you feel like you're in the movie and you realize, oh my gosh, this is the movie script I wrote. Just feel this for a moment, my loves. All of this information. It's much more intensified right now because you are in your ascension process. You're already in the process of the new human. How you choose to respond to all of it going on around you and see it as reality or the lie and come into the alignment of what you truly are is what allows it to cleanse and clear. Virtual reality. Thank you, my loves. And so they want you to know, again, first off, they're so fucking honoring of like you guys choosing to be here now. Being the light being that said, I know what's going to go down, and I am a light being that is there to
hold that field, to anchor in that light, to remember that truth, to transmit that through the field, that we evolve through that fourth dimensional consciousness and come to fifth dimensional consciousness existing in unconditional pure love, acceptance, peace, having embodied the light information, being enlightenment, to be in light, to do so as an integrated embodied soul. That's why you came here to play human, my loves. You know how cool you are. I know how cool you are. I see you. We did. We planned it all. So while we ourselves are ascending in vibration and are ascending in this vibrational frequency, we're seeing beyond the Maya and the illusion as we are assisting and supporting our planet during this time, this ascension process, which is primarily caused by all the low vibrational, loveless life systems that we've created. We look at the systems of humanity and now we're fucking paying attention, aren't we? We're like, we cannot tolerate this anymore. They've all been built on a lower vibrational frequency, systems that have been in a shadow density. So our opportunity, or while we hear ourselves, we are healing this earth. That's why the manifestation is simply you becoming the new human. It is for you to bring forth your ascension. That's how we are going to heal our planet. So healing yourself and raising in vibration. All that is required, my loves, is to raise your own vibrational frequency. To raise the vibrational frequency then on the earth through forgiving yourself, freeing yourself, ultimately loving yourself unconditionally. I call it radical acceptance. That was a journey. And I'm so grateful I went on it, to have unconditional radical acceptance for myself and all beings and all of life. Ultimately loving yourself abundantly and unconditionally in all of life. Because again, by doing that with yourself, then what becomes our level of consciousness that we see outside of ourselves is that. It's why I can goo goo gaga over you guys and I just want to cuddle and look at you because you're just glorious light beings. It's like I'm in the best show ever just watching you beautiful beings. And that's how simple it really is. And so this infinite intelligence and abundance that consistently flows to us through all of life, that is us and is God. And why when we open up to and appreciate and love all of life, we use the key to receive. It's not, well, when this happens, then I'll receive. It's I get to be this frequency and now I am open to all of life because there's no parameters or limitations or blocks or stories that say it has to look this way. And all things are available to us. That is our key to receiving. So raising our vibrational frequency to match 5D is the journey of what? Mastering the body, coming into complete alignment with the vessel, this gift that we are, our mind, our heart, our spirit, each element of us. And I call this those of you that have been in my programs and follow me, I talk about our operating systems. Because the view through our perception is an operating system. The view through our languaging is an operating system. These are just the operating systems we're using as a human vessel that all are carrying and transmitting a frequency. And so through each of these journeys we have by coming into alignment with our heart, with our mind, our spirit, our body, all these things, it's bringing each aspect of our being into alignment with the consciousness, the thoughts, the behaviors, the feelings, and the ways of being that is this vibration. And what's available as we live in this vibration of heaven on earth state now, as we are designed to as sovereign gods, is we break free of the 3D matrix. And what I want you to hear, and they're saying is very important to see as part of what's available to you, is that as you break free from the 3D matrix, you break free from karma and the cycles of incarnation by ascending into fifth dimensional consciousness and above, because unconditional love is the vibration of the fifth dimension. And in a place of unconditional love, my loves, karma, this story of suffering and what I have to struggle with, can no longer exist. And so we move to then a higher frequency than the dense cycle of incarnation and karma exists in. As we return to our remembrance, that is unconditional love and knowing we are all one. We see and be only unity. We are all source. We are all things. We are God. They're really wanting you to have a reference point now of what 3D, 4D, and 5D is. Do you guys feel more clear on that? That you can tune into like, oh, I see the illusion now. Oh, we've come into a dense system. Now for me to transcend this, it feels like it gets even more wild and crazy. I'm just watching a movie though. All the things reflecting for me are just showing me what I don't see as God, for me to heal and love, that I bring it all back to unconditional love, and I'm literally free from all of it. I'm free from
karma. I'm free from incarnation. I'm just existing in my bliss on heaven on earth now. Does that sound appealing, my loves? Does that feel appealing? Can you let that come into your heart and your body? Because this is not a head game, sweetness. This is a feeling frequency game. You will imprint with this when you can breathe and tell yourself, like, I open, I receive. I joyfully release that I joyfully receive. We're just going to joyfully release anything that is not in alignment to the imprinting of you being God source consciousness as a God self, and everyone and everything else also in that same reflection of the light that you are. So this is how we heal. This is what we experience to create. This is how we create our new earth. And it's why I'm here right now, my loves. It's with all this happening in the world, so many people look to me and say, how do you respond? What do you think? What do you do? I don't know if I should speak up or I shouldn't speak up. I'm being shamed everywhere because everything is being projected out that gets to be, everything is getting shook up that gets to be healed in love. And honestly, because I only know how to be honestly, in my full transparency, as that's all I know how to be, I experience it very differently. I witness all of it. And in my sovereignty, as an embodied, integrated soul, it does not affect my reality because I am my reality. My sovereignty is the source of my own experience, my safety. Now, all sorts of things can come in and it'd be like, well, how can you not care? Or there be compassion to this. Now, believe me, being the light worker that I am, I'm choosing to be here in this and lead and guide and share the light. And I can tap into and feel the frequencies of the planet and what's happening. And that's why I do the things that I do to stay as a clean, clear vessel. It's why I follow my soul's highest call. That's why I'm on this call. Is it's like, and lots happening in the world right now. Get on there and bring some light codes that we can all receive this and we can move through more of the Mayan illusion and we can transmit that for our brothers and sisters. And so knowing though, again, in my sovereignty, I am the source of my experience. So if you tune into it like it's an internal barometer, your sovereignty is an internal barometer. It doesn't change based on what is happening around me. That would be called codependency. If I require the world to show up a certain way, other people to show up a certain way, a situation to show up a certain way, my body to show up a certain way, someone to love me a certain way, that is saying I require you outside of me to make me happy. That's not sovereignty. That's being a victim of circumstance. That's hoping and wishing and waiting for something outside of you to change, even waiting for the systems to change, the virus to go away, whatever, all these illusions that are here, you're the only one that creates your experience. And so when we recognize that I'm not waiting for love, waiting for happiness, waiting for something outside of me, wanting, again, anything or anyone in the world or any situation to show up any differently than it is for me to be happy, to be at peace, to be abundant, to be experiencing love. Because I am love. I am abundance. I am peace. I am joy. I am happiness. It's all here right now. It's not outside of me. So it doesn't change based on anything else. So it's like, think of this, if you can imagine, as I've worked with many enlightened masters in India and all over the world and had glorious teachers that just hold this field of just neutrality and peace. Okay, so when I say neutrality, it means they don't have a judgment or story about anything. I feel that has been such a beautiful gift in my life is I do not have a judgment or story about anyone or anything. Like, it's like, you could tell me anything. I see it out of love. I love you whole and complete, no matter what you're experiencing or what you've ever experienced. It's just story. It's just things. It's just experiences. It's not you as God. It's just you participating in your human experience as God through that way of knowing. And so think of it, there's a story of Buddha where, this man came to Buddha and his whole family had started being around Buddha and had converted to this very different, peaceful way of being. And this man felt very triggered by that his family had changed and all these things. And he comes to Buddha, he, is angry and he's upset. And Buddha's just standing there like, what's up, dude? I'm totally chill. It's all good. I see you. Like, holding a presence and filled with no reaction. And so someone from an outside perception could look at that and go, don't you care? And that's what came up for me is I even share, I'm experiencing a completely different reality. And people be like, how can you not be affected? Because I actually don't buy into the story. And Buddha doesn't buy into the story. He's saying, I don't receive that gift. Like, I don't choose to participate in that. Yet the greater truth of it is for anyone that ever comes and says, this is what I'm experiencing, this pain, this struggle, this story. It's not that we don't feel and recognize the compassion of it. It's that we actually see you as God. You're just God choosing to experience that. And you're witnessing an illusion in a story. So I don't see you any differently other than God. And by reflecting this truth and this knowingness, I only can call you forth to move through the illusion to remember the God self that you are. And so it's like not getting sucked into, I've talked about, I don't get pulled into what the world chooses. And so not getting pulled into the traumas or the stories or experiences because you simply remember and see everyone as God. Just choosing this form of expression, choosing this form of learning, just choosing this experience currently. And so they're really wanting to come through and hear that, I've said this a lot of times, I know, I've said this lots of times, that you can learn and grow through pain and suffering, or this is the higher level of consciousness, I can learn and grow and evolve and remember through joy, bliss, pleasure, peace. I can experience my humanness and all the ways to grow. I can grow through love, or I can choose to grow through struggle. I can choose to grow through pain. I can choose to grow through hardship, and I can choose to grow through peace and joy, pleasure. Because why, my loves? You're God. You're sovereign. It's your choice. It's not what's happening outside of you. Suffering is always a choice. And all of that is through your awareness and what you're choosing to be and align yourself to. And this is why I said at the beginning, you can only see to the level of your awareness. And this is why we're bringing some really in-depth truth here that you're like, get to see a greater awareness is available. And just keep breathing that in. Continue to scan and check in with your bodies. If you get to do a little shakeout, if you feel energy build up from all of this, if it feels like any triggers are coming in, it feels like, but you want to have blame or judgment or shame about things that are experiencing and feeling like, no, and feel like a victim, just shake that out and just be aware and like, let's move some energy and breathe, stay open, giving yourself permission to receive, giving yourself permission to joyfully release. Many people, my loves, are feeling the immense pain. This is why I'm here. I can witness and see all that's happening in the planet. And there's been times I've really felt it. And I've gotten to do like what we did in Peace for the Planet, day one activation, where we just lean into feeling all of it and cleanse and clear it. A lot of people are feeling really intensely right now. And I feel that because I am super tapped in as an empath. I feel and can understand the story that's been bought into and that we're seeing and that what we're feeling based on that. Pain from the collective is clearing. It's clearing and it's coming up and it's rising to be healed. And for each individual to choose a higher way of operating and being. And what you can also hear is that you give that to everyone, but by first giving it to yourself. That's why I always say leaders go first by just simply leading themselves. And at the same time, my loves, operating from 5D consciousness, including myself, we are more bliss than ever. What I mean by I can see, and how I said I witness all of it, I can see, and you guys have witnessed, mass pain happening right now. A lot of the biggest core wounds coming up. And at the same time, myself, as well as many of the beautiful, beloved friends I have who operate from the state of being, we've actually been more blissed out than ever. The friends and the people that I'm witnessing that are choosing this level of consciousness, they're even in more service, in more love, in more joy, in more peace. As I mentioned, I just spent the last 5 days with like 15 people in my space and a whole crew of friends where we're just blissed out in our wholeness, loving life. And that's not an escape because that's how my everyday is. That's how every single day is because the matrix is not running my world. And so when you're fully present in the now, you're in pure awe of all the abundance and the bliss that's available in every single breath, every experience, in every moment of life. And so what's the difference between the two, my loves, that you get to recognize is choice, is what you are aligned to choosing. So most of us are operating unconsciously, and it's time to see through the illusion and be consciously choosing. Those in my programs know we talk about the unconscious commitments and recognizing and seeing those clearly that what? We go, oh, I'm catching that. This is my new conscious commitment because in my highest state of knowing myself as God or my highest awareness and my worth, this is what I'm now consciously committed to be choosing. To bring myself into alignment of that, to a higher way of being with ourselves and all other beings and all experiences and all life. So we get to stand in our sovereignty, being fully aware of the power of what we choose and remember. I want you to really take this in. You are what you've been looking for. You are the medicine. So when I shared earlier, they're asking me to give a little bit more context still, because I guess I didn't really go into the God thing, and they're saying bring a little bit more into that. So when I shared earlier, you are God, some or most of you might have had a challenge with that based on the programming of the 3D and the perceptions we've been taught since we were born. And so let's go the other way. What if I told you there is no God? What, Mars, you just said I'm God and everything's God. What if I said there's no God? And what I mean is, at least in the sense of what you might have been programmed with, there's this sense of one superior male in the sky, some man-made religion taught us or tried to influence us with, which is what I was raised into. And I know, my loves, I'm saying you get to believe whatever feels good for you. I have no desire for you to do anything other than lean into yourself, choose what feels good for you. But let's get curious of what we've been programmed with and taught and what might be the bigger picture that is available. So when we think that you're praying to that one thing in the sky, that one God, that's the thing that has to give me permission. But in fact, we are all sovereign beings of the universe and of all gods ourselves, with each our own universe and reality to create. Can we see how that's happening? You choose and create your own reality as a God. We come into alignment of our interdependence. So we go from codependence in the lower vibrational frequency and matrix to independence to interdependence. Because I am you, you are me. I am interconnected. I am connected to all energy. I'm all of it. So I am in a beautiful interdependence, a weaving of allness. This is why it's not me versus they. It's all of us together. So we have this idea when we're coming from a frequency or an idea that there's something outside of us that is a superiority, that is, I'm at the, surrender to what you choose. It's outside of us, that it's in charge of answering your prayers or granting you permission. And what they're really saying is, when we recognize that there is no God superior to another, there is no God superior to another. And therefore, there is no one outside of you that is in charge of answering your prayers or granting you permission, because you are what you've been looking for. You are the medicine that you've been seeing. You are the one that is praying to yourself, and you are the one that answers your prayers because you're talking to your higher knowing self, your I am presence that is God. Woo! Just breathe that in. So because you are what you've been looking for, my loves, this is why I teach there is no frequency higher than yourself. In our universal truth, there is no authority above another. There's no authority above anyone, as I said. So we are infinite and sovereign inhabitants of the universe and the multiverse. God is source. You are source. So source is another word for God. Again, it only became a disillusion of what God is when the world placed an idea of God as this thing in the sky instead of God as source energy. God was just the original word to describe source energy. So you are source. You are a fractal of the whole. You're a reflection of the universe. Every single cell in your being is a reflection of the universe, a microcosm of the macrocosm. So the foundational law, one of the many foundational laws that they're bringing in here of light codes for you, of truth, is I am God. Love is God. God is love. Therefore, I'm God. I am love. I am that. You are that. We are that. They are that. God. And the minute the ego mind or our lower vibrational constructs or operating systems or limitations based on these programs convinces us that you or anything else is not love or is not God, is when you become separate. So it's so easy to see that the moment we create separation, we're in the greatest lie that is separation. Separation from ourselves as source, separate from others in all of life. And it is impossible to be separate because you are it. Just breathe that in. You are it. So all these things you're wanting to manifest that you think are outside of you, you're actually it now. It's simply aligning the vibration of the remembrance that you're it and directing the energy to clearly bring all things into saying, that's what I'm experiencing. So the minute we step outside of love or stop identifying with love, this is how, my loves, I'm giving you the tool to start implementing, integrating, because you get to integrate this into your life. And so as we begin to recognize and see it so clearly, the moment I am outside of love or I stop identifying with love is when the chaos happens, because anything outside of love is the lower vibration and the heavy density creating disconnect that's creating disharmony. And we can see that now. Can we see all the chaos and how everyone's looking through the illusions of parameters and programs and stories and they should be right and that's wrong? And we just see it. We witness it. That's where chaos exists. That's where heavy density is operating. That's where the disharmony with life comes in, because you're outside of your natural state of being and creating. And so there is nothing that is not God. So when we can see ourselves again as that, and I feel like they're bringing this in again because it's obviously important. This is like, I get to really hear this and bring this in. When we can see that in ourselves, we see it within everyone and everything. So why do I want you to know, or they want you to know, all the things that are coming through are wanting you to know that you and all things are God, is that so you remember that you're already enough, you're already worthy. When you see that, you will be it. You are perfect. The inherent birthright that is love, because it's you, because you are. Then as we witness the world, you could call it return to the world, take a moment to see what's happening, whatever comes into your awareness. When you witness the world and what's happening, you are not pulled into the matrix. You rise above it. The only way to not be pulled into the collective frequency is you rise above the frequency that's existing. And you call others to rise by being the very example of it. And you change the frequency of the planet by being the vibration of it. So now we can choose this to be what we're looking for. Beyond the Mayan illusion, we are looking for love because we see it all as love and we know that we're loved. So what I also, they're bringing forth to just ground in this remembrance or this feelings is that you chose, again, we know that you chose to be here. You chose to be human and experience your God self in all of its expression as a human. So you set all of this up for you. So this beautiful playground that you're playing in, you set up for yourself. Can you see how it would be suffering to think anything else? But when you recognize, wow, my highest self obviously created all of this. So this is obviously my greatest gift right in front of me right now. The greatest gift is always right in front of me right now because it is always the thing I require in this moment for my next level of receiving. So my loves, this is our greatest glorious gift and awakening. And just some quick references to remembering then that because we chose to be human and experience our allness, to be human is to be all things. Everything has just different frequencies of light and dark based on the experience and what they're vibrating. The human experience you chose was to feel all things. We possess every single trait, every ability, every emotion within us. So when we see it in others, it's simply because it is also us. We are a holographic mirror of all that we are. Everything within us that is not love is the mirror that's being revealed. As above, so below, as within, so without. Everything that you see is you, and everything that is a holographic mirror of the energy that you're choosing. It's just a mirror of what you're vibrating and what you're choosing. So that's why self-realization can only come through seeing yourself in another. Self-realization can only come through seeing yourself in another. So can we see when we create separation with others, what it's reflecting about ourselves? So all things have a right to exist. We are all things and we choose to experience it all, and because it is all God. So the destruction, my loves, of the old has to happen as we're going through the 4D to birth the new earth. The destruction of all your stories and programs is what's alchemizing in you right now to come to that level of complete neutrality, acceptance, wholeness, oneness as an embodied, integrated soul that's operating from unconditional love. So these painful ways of treating each other, or creating separation, or not honoring and respecting every human, every animal, every way of life as equal has to come up for its disillusion. And we can see that massively happening right now. That we can now respond differently and choose a new way. I choose love. And we all can choose love. And it's in our highest consciousness knowing that being interconnected as one, that we would never want to hurt another or judge another because I'd only be hurting myself. So yes, as a new world of new humans, that's what's happening. That's what's being birthed. And it starts here and now by releasing the fight, but being a stand for your truth, our truth as sovereign beings. The rights of all beings, that we all get to live in harmony together, that we're all worthy of all the abundance. That is the vision that I see and I create and how I choose to be. So what I want to bring in is that this can all, again, sound amazing. Thank you, my loves. I see all you guys giving love to that. I choose love too. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're in the journey of love with me. This sounds amazing, right? It sounds amazing. Operating from love, being love, experiencing only love. Bliss state consciousness, flow state consciousness, abundance everywhere and everything, always fully fucking supported by the universe and everything because there is no lack. That's what is. And yet you might be like, yeah, I want that. Let's love on each other. And then you recognize or notice your world isn't in complete harmony with that. You might find yourself not agreeing with others' perceptions or struggling to be a field of only love and acceptance for all relationships in your world, for yourself or for past experiences. You might have found you still experience feeling blame or judgment on others or yourself. It's like an idea in a context, but you're just not sure how to experience life any differently because you've been seeing it through the illusion of the 3D matrix. It's all you've seen and it's all you've known. It's all your system has had a reference point for. And what we're wanting to bring in now is the opening and the awareness that you can breathe into what else is available to see beyond the mind illusion of what's happening. It's truly a choice and a time to embrace so much more of our remembrance. Not just the surface self-empowerment, spiritual bypass that's kept us from our fullest remembrance, which most of the world up until now has found it easy to be distracted, to be avoidant, to be asleep, to just move really slowly in that range of our evolution and all that we are in our capabilities. It's been easier to suppress, to numb the internal pain, the struggle, the suffering, the hurt inside. But all of this now, my loves, again, gets to come to a point of pay attention. It's unavoidable. I mean, the longer you avoid it, the more you create suffering. And so if we want to cut through the fog and the false illusion and get off this hamster wheel of 3D sacrifice and suffering, we get to awaken, as I've mentioned, to the awareness of what you really are, what is really available, and to the consciousness that allows you to see and receive that. So we get to micro-align your life to this frequency by seeing everything that is calling for the healing to be cleansed, to be cleared, to be loved, that is lower density in your system, and to alchemize it, to transmute it into the highest vibration of light, that your body becomes a light vessel. You become a rainbow light body, a light body, just magnifying your light. You get to micro-align every part of your world to the frequency of this state of being. And I want to remind you guys that it's time. So I want you to just breathe that in for a while. Breathe that in for a minute. A lot of light codes coming in. So just breathe that in for a moment. Breathe in simply that it's time. In case that didn't come through, they're saying it's time. You can keep avoiding it and you're just prolonging your suffering. It's time to remember who the fuck you are. A God. This, my loves, is also why I was called to do Peace for the Planet. How many of you guys participated in Peace for the Planet and the activations? Amazing. And that was not me. That was just divine direction and things coming through. And we obviously had hundreds and hundreds of messages of receiving massive healing from that. And this is why I was called to do this today. This is why I was called to do Align to Manifest, because we're here to heal our planet, to heal ourselves. And so New Earth Abundance is all as one. We get to come together as one, all as one. We share and we receive and we're all supported and taken care of. And so, my loves, let's just take a moment, just breathe all of this in, all of this information, all of this light data. See this literally start to begin to just circulate that energy through your system. Just deeper inhale, deeper exhale. Begin to move the energy with your vision, with your body vessel, seeing it circulate as you collect it from Gaia and bring it back up through your body and your system. You might even circulate the other way as you collect it from your highest self-conscious, bring it down and give it back to Gaia and around through your system. Just feeling this begin to move, to imprint, to reach every bit of your being, to open your heart, to open your mind, to open your soul and your spirit, to open your remembrance. You know, when you've been dreaming and you've been seeing yourself in the cosmos and had these visions of different times and spaces and realities, that's you just being multidimensional, my loves. You're just that fucking cool. I see you, you God. Breathing all this in, my loves, all this beautiful information that we've been able to receive. And we're going to give direction now to yourselves. You say, I ask for, or I give direction, I give permission to myself, because you're the sovereign creator. You design and direct even your cells in your body vessel. You know, I imprint now, I receive with ease and grace the integration of this light into every cell, atom, subparticle, electron, and molecule of my being. I integrate this through all of me, through all space, times, dimensions, realities, through lifetimes and parallel lifetimes, all happening now as I am now receiving and imprinting with this higher vibrational consciousness of unconditional love. We're no longer buying into a story that you got to keep incarnating and in karma and in struggle and in sacrifice. You're God who chose to become human at this time to literally fucking liberate the planet by healing yourself and healing the world. So remembering, I choose to be here now. I chose to come here now for this because I am this. And now let's breathe in and see that light information just landing in your system, opening your heart. Notice if your body is slunched over at all, then open up your heart, open up your shoulders, open up your breath. tip your head back and just, I receive, I receive, I receive. You can say, yes, thank you. I accept, I receive, I see this now. We are seeing this now encoded into the grid and the field around us. That now as you imprint with this awareness, the grid of energy around you just becomes your playground. That now it reflects to you clearly where you can apply love and where you can receive love. And we call forth and ask also that each of your beautiful divine vessels be supported in integrating this into your system, to cleansing and clearing anything that is not of the highest vibration of light in accordance with this light data and information system, to be cleansed and transmuted and cleared with ease and grace. That you also are fully supported now with your guides and those teachers that are only beings that are whole and healed and operating out of the highest vibration of love and light, that are here for your support, your ascension, your remembrance, to be able to be in your field, to, as you lean into this, as you begin to now integrate this, that you are given the clear direction, the clarity of what is asking for your healing, and to breathe into it with ease and grace and love, see it for what it is. It's your next gift to receive even more. Add in any breath if you require, and really feeling this in, my loves. We're going to close this out. What I want to share with you as a part of this is, some of you might not know, some of you might know about Align to Manifest, because that is the next thing that it is truly the greatest gift that I am called to give humanity right now. And so it is what I want people to know is available, as everything we've talked about today, where it's like, I can get the laws of consciousness. Now, how do I integrate that into my life? And how do we begin to align every single aspect of our life? So for those of you that don't know about Align to Manifest, it's a 6-month container that we're actually starting July 1st. It's a 6-month mastermind container where I'm teaching everything that I know, more than I've ever been able to teach $1 million client, because there just wasn't space for it. There was not even enough space for me to teach $1 million client all of this. And this is what I'm called to give. And it's because, again, new earth frequency and abundance is, we're all worthy and we're all one. So it's, I give it all. I give it all. And this is really happening at basically our cost to run my team, where I'm committed to 6 months of doing this. I haven't had anything and anyone on my schedule other than a 1 call a month with $1 million client kind of thing, guys. So this was a big call forth for me to create all of this and to share all this. So I know Cami can probably share the link if you guys want to look at more of the information. I'll just kind of give you guys an idea that it's 6 months where you have access to all the content that I'm creating and sharing. What we're going into is every single area of life in absolute alignment. We're looking at the unconscious commitments, the underlying frequencies, the programs, anything that is a lower vibrational density, and how to align it to the vision of your highest true self-consciousness. Because as we've already seen, operating in the human world in 3D, 99% of people never achieve their goals or their visions because they're not aligned to them. They're aligned to what they are already receiving. They're aligned to their result they have right now. So this is the call to share with you how to use all the tools that I use. Activating your gifts, utilizing energy, breath play move. I literally have already created what would be an entire, I call it breath play, a breathwork course. All of that just on the side available to support you in moving through your system. Entire program on embodiment tools, on rituals. As we go into body alignment, there's like a whole course on just fucking fasting and the tips and the ways to work with our body to become a light being. That's just one aspect. I don't even think I have words to share the amount of information that's available here. That's why I said I've never even done this for $1 million client. It wasn't available. I'm being called to create it all, so it's all there for everyone to receive. So we're really uprooting everything that is not in the highest alignment, and we're bringing in the new laws of consciousness so you actually hear and receive these truths and then look at how to integrate it into your life, along with, as I said, all these other things like rituals, ceremony, breath play, diving into money and abundance, diving into relationships, diving into the body, coming into Rainbow Light Body. And what's going to happen is every other week, so you guys basically have access to the content, and we go through a 2-week section of what we're focused on, and then every other week we do a live breakdown to breakthrough with me. Just that, when I used to do masterminds a couple of years ago, when I felt called to do them, it was a $50,000 price tag to be on just a call with me every other week as they went through my programs, which is an inkling of what we're sharing here. So I just want to give you guys the context of this is because it is time for all of us to lean into the light data, to receive the light information, to integrate it into our lives, to give ourselves the healing and the freedom, and to create it for our new earth. That's why we're doing this. So again, I'll let you guys also know that just in prep for this, because I like to go deep, as you guys know, access that people already have in Align to Manifest. You get all 7 days of light code activations. If you didn't get to experience all that, that's a massive healing. You get my whole meditation bundle, As I Wake Up Today activation, the inner child connection and timeline healing. You get trainings. You start with the freedom audios to learn how to process and move things. You start with your unconscious commitments, which I know if you guys are in it already, I know those of you that have already done unconscious commitments are like, holy fuck. I'm like, I know, it's good. You get the manifestation rituals video. You get access to the other trainings, Law of Ascension, Receiving Effect, Joy Training. You get my entire conscious languaging program, and you get access to all 24 plus body breakthrough workouts back when I was a nutrition fitness expert on TV. Just all being like, this is all just to support you in diving in. I know, Christmas. That's a great way to put it. So my loves, I'm trying to give access to everything that I teach, everything, to be able to teach and share with each person how to move through and come into complete alignment as new human of new earth, because this is what's going to allow all of us to receive. So if you guys are interested in that, what we're going to do for anyone that's on this call, because this was all created as the Syrians and Palladians, and I was given this assignment when we were doing Peace for the Planet. We figured out costs for the team and for all of this to happen, and we gave it at event pricing $2,777. I'm not talking $27,000 some on, even though I said this would have been an inkling of a $50,000 programs I used to run. We're talking $2,000, $777. The normal pricing is $3,333. I like sacred numbers, but we're going to extend the $2,777 to anyone that's on this call for the next 72 hours, simply because you're here. And I know that you're here because you're drawn to your soul contracts. So many people that showed up in Peace for the Planet and then got into Align to Manifest, I felt like, I'm like, I saw you. I knew who you are, light being, I see you. And I believe, because I just asked my team if we could extend that same discount to you guys here. The sales page actually doesn't have that price on it. So I think you guys would get to message Cami. Cami, do you have your Facebook link? So if you guys are on and you would like to have that discount and are interested in it, we can get you the link. If you have any questions, my babes, Cami, my soul beloved that's been by my side for like almost 12 years now, after she went through my programs and changed her life, she is happy to get on a call and answer any questions. There are payment plans, and we make it a priority to make customized payment plans if you require it. Because this isn't fucking about money, my loves. I wouldn't be doing this for $2,000 and committing to a 6-month journey if this was about money. Again, I don't really give a fuck about the money. It's about alignment. That's how we operate. So we want anyone who is called to this, that feels they want to be a part of it, please message Cami. If you can't just go on the link and get in at that price point, please message Cami that we can see what payment options are available and serve and support you in any way if it calls to you. And I have no attachment. I love you no matter what, any single way. I want you guys to tune in. That's just my piece, guys. I want to make sure, I believe, obviously, you guys can't receive and know what else we're creating to serve and support the planet if you are unaware of it's there. That's what's in my field. That's my greatest joy right now. What my soul is being called forth to create for humanity and what I get to share. And I would love to just a quick check-in with you guys to see how you're feeling. How are you feeling? Just message in the chat. A bunch of you I know are already aligned to manifest. You're probably like, yeah, fuck yes, let's do this. I'm like, I know, it's about to start. A couple weeks. Yes. Oh, Kristen, thank you. Yeah, you've already been going through a lot of the content. That's amazing. Feeling great. Feels great. Love. So grateful. So awesome. Love you. Oh, I love you. I appreciate and receive that fully, Karen. I love you, sister. Feeling so much light. Fabulous. Feel love. Supercharged. In love. Ah. That sounds like New Earth humans, my loves, right? Now, do you guys feel like you can see through the story a bit more? The stories and illusions of what's been happening around us and what's, happening in our world. And awesome. Beautiful, my loves. And I love to dive into what programs are happening, what people are experiencing, and do breakdown and breakthrough. That's not going to happen on this call because we could go hours. Those of you that are in the Best Life Tribe, we're doing an open mic breakdown and breakthrough call next week. So literally, I just spend hours one-on-one bringing people on and breaking through whatever's there for them. In Align to Manifest, we'll be doing this every other week. So we'll really get to tune into what's happening in your system, what's the reality in your world, what gets to be broken down, what gets to be seen, and activating a lot of things as well. So I'm super excited for all of you that are going to be continuing in that beautiful 6-month container journey with me. You guys can still participate in Peace for the Planet. If you don't know what that is, it's a free Facebook group, as I was called to do the 7 days of light code activation. So Peace for the Planet is still a beautiful big group where people are supporting each other and we're sharing. There's a whole bunch of free trainings that we put in there in the units tab. If you haven't used those are so good. And if you feel a desire for more support, you feel a desire for more how to integrate and bring this into your life, and maybe Aligned to Manifest doesn't feel like it's the next step for you, or it feels too big for any reason, please just reach out. We have so many options. Know that we've even left everything on our site at 50% off still, because if it's just one little program or activation you're starting with next, because we're all just here to heal. We're here just to see beyond the mind illusions, and we're all in it together. So I love you all so much. Thank you for being such glorious light beings with me. I know it's late for some of you. It's super ass early. Someone was like, I'll be there at 2 a.m. I'm like, yes. It's just some of you are just starting the day. So wherever you're at in the world, I am sending you the frequency of the highest vibration of divine unconditional love and light. I see you and I see your God. And I love you so very much. In fact, let me see if I can get back on video. There you are. I see you, beloved. Thank you, my loves, for being the glorious light beings that you are, and just bringing your essence into the world and choosing to be here now and like standing with me. I fully see you. I fully receive your love. I'm fully giving you love. I just want to shine and reflect for you the glory that you are. I'm so excited to hear how you begin to integrate this, and know, again, there's plenty of ways that we can support you in that, get more into the how-to tools. I'm so grateful to see a lot of you here that I know is in Aligned to Manifest already. I'll see you guys in peace with the planet. Let's do this, all right, my loves? Let's do this with peace and ease and joy. Mwah. All right, my loves, have a fabulous, wonderful day, evening, night, and ask that you integrate with ease and grace. Just see that a chamber of light around you is in letting your bodies, if you're going into the day, take it easy, give yourself some love, get into softness, let your guides bring forth awareness of what else, like where do I get to put my attention then, what is asking for my healing, and get fucking excited, because I'm excited. Heaven on earth now, okay? All right, love you, beloveds. Have a fabulous, wonderful day, evening, night. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, my friends, for joining me for another amazing conversation to create change. To allow that change to take place, please integrate the tools so that you can really receive the change into your life. And I invite you to join us for even more in the Best Life Tribe and continue on your path and your journey. And remember who you really are, a divine being that is already whole, already worthy, completely deserving, and fully capable to now claim and live the life you love.